The Earth is spinning, the gravity is low, and the view is spectacular. Everything seems perfect. That is, until your home planet suddenly stops rotating. You naturally begin to panic, start wondering what to do. Then you realise nothing has changed for you on the moon. But what about on the Earth? What are your friends and family experiencing? Is this the end of humankind? Let's find out. The Earth spins at a whopping 1,000 miles per hour. We don't feel this motion, as we are moving at the same speed as the Earth around us. However, since the Earth has just suddenly stopped rotating, everything not deep-rooted into Earth is flung at this speed. As the dust settles, we see the destruction that occurred. Every human, animal, and insect has been swept away. All buildings have been uprooted and hurled into the distance. However, this is just the beginning. The Earth's air has also been propelled forward, causing 1,000 miles per hour winds. Winds that have never been witnessed before. These conditions are worst along the equator, where the Earth spins the fastest. This brings its own problems like spreading fires across the land, especially in forests. These winds are so powerful, it is comparable to withstanding the blast of a nuclear bomb. If by some miracle you were still alive on a desert, the sandstorm created would certainly end that miracle. Those living near the south or north poles would stand the best chance of immediate survival on land. This is because at the Earth's axis there is no rotation. Therefore, no large immediate effect would be felt. However, the wind from more hostile parts of the world would certainly on its way. If residents were to react quick enough, they could seek shelter in a tornado-proof building or government bunker. Milder winds would start to reach the poles in the first half an hour, gradually getting stronger. By the 6-hour mark, tornado-level winds would be felt. After digesting the events that have just taken place, you start to relax. Phew. Well, there's no time for relaxing because a gigantic tsunami is approaching. Hopefully the tornado-proof building you were in was also tsunami-proof. The tsunami would be caused by the collapse of the equatorial bulge. As the Earth spins, the oceans bulge at the Earth's equator. A sudden halt of the Earth's rotation would cause the bulge of water at the equator to push in, causing the Earth to be more spherical. This pushes the oceans, with the help from gravity, out away from the equator, all over the world. Approximately 12 hours later, the tsunamis would have reached the North and South Pole, causing potential flooding. Now, thankfully, not everyone who survived in Antarctica would be exposed to flooding. This is because many parts of the land have extreme elevation, which may protect it from the significant rise in sea level. Anyone who managed to get themselves to an underground doomsday bunker would likely have chosen the wrong option. Unless they have a submarine in there, or an intercontinental underground tunnel, they will most likely be stuck under a sea of water. After a week or so of sea levels rising around Antarctica, they eventually stabilise and become the new norm. If you are fortunate enough to have a boat that has survived the supersonic winds and gigantic tsunamis, you would be able to sail to the equator of the Earth. Now, we are assuming you still have enough food and water left after the storm to make the journey. Should take about 3 weeks to get there. However, upon arrival you will see a sight never seen before, a single supercontinent. As all the water has left the equator and settled at the poles, we are left with a huge connected piece of land wrapped around the centre of the Earth. You survived being flung, survived tornado winds, survived tsunamis, and have survived a 3-week sail across the world. Are you feeling lucky? Well, you shouldn't be just yet, as things are just heating up, or cooling down. You see, as the Earth rotates, it alternates facing towards and away from the sun, making it daytime, then nighttime. If the Earth were to stop spinning, the 24-hour day would cease to exist. I'm sure you can imagine the impact this would have. You would have 6 months of straight darkness, followed by 6 months of straight sunshine. During the 6-month night, temperatures would continuously plummet over time, reaching a devastating -80 Celsius or -112 Fahrenheit. To survive in these temperatures, it would be imperative that you had shelter, fire, and Arctic clothing. Obviously, this would be quite the challenge in a world where everything and everyone has been destroyed. No shops, electricity, or communications. Good job you're from Antarctica. Now, even those from Antarctica are going to run out of food, with it being unlikely that any mammals have survived, and the weather conditions being too harsh for crop growth. Your options are limited. Unless you have access to an underground shelter with an energy generator to grow food, you are going to have to think outside the box. Yes, some fish may have survived, but they will be limited, and you are on a supercontinent with no water nearby. The ground is also too hard and covered in snow to be able to dig for insects. Eureka! You spot an underground cave, just as if this was all part of a hypothetical scenario. Your hunch was right. The cave was full of mushrooms due to the heat from the Earth's core, and the insulation from the ground above keeping it above freezing. You really are lucky. After waiting 6 months in the cave, you figure it must be summer and decide to get some of that much beloved vitamin D. What you witness is nothing short of a nightmare. Blistering 100 degrees Celsius heat, so hot that all the ice has not just melted, but evaporated. Maybe travelling to the equator wasn't the best idea. Within a second, you have already decided to re-enter the cool cave. Even another second in the blistering heat would have caused skin burns and lung damage from the inhalation of the hot air. One more second in the heat would have led to your own tears boiling and blinding you. This heat is no joke. After about 5 months, the temperature is cool enough to make your way to a twilight zone. A twilight zone is an area on the Earth which is in between day and night. The temperatures won't be as extreme there. Life is a little more habitable here. The temperature is suitable enough for some vegetation to grow. Melted ice from cooler places has created a stream of water towards you, and you have even found some fellow survivors with a similar story to yours. You lucky little thing. Oh, I forgot to mention. Due to the twilight zone being in between two extreme differences in heat, it is subject to violent tornado activity. So, exactly how lucky have you been? Well, if you were the survival character in our story, you would have a 1 in 12 billion chance of survival. You'd have more chance of getting struck by lightning twice in the same year. If you were to be unfortunate in every one of the events, your odds of survival would be 1 in 10 unvigintillion. That's rarer than winning the lottery every second since the beginning of the universe. Good job the Earth is still rotating. That was a perfect explanation. If you found this video informative, please press the like button and subscribe for future animated explanations. It all helps the channel to grow and improve.